It has been 15 years since Michael Jackson went away, and ever since then, his existence has been controversial in the same manner that his life was controversial. There have been debates concerning his death, his life, his interactions with other people, his estate, his music, and even his fortune over the course of the past 15 years. According to the words of a renowned film producer from the United States, there are three sides to a story: your side, my side, and the truth. And nobody is telling a lie. Shared memories help each individual in a unique way. When we talk about those who have forged their own way in life, we are referring to those individuals who have discovered their own voice via a combination of determination, hard effort, and patience. Michael Jackson, sometimes known as the King of Pop, is an individual who cannot be excluded from this category. He is the only person who matches this description. Jackson was able to build his legendary empire not just via his own talent, but also by the meticulous choices he made over his musical career, which led to his meteoric rise to fame in the 1980s. However, Jackson's path to success was not without its challenges, which is how this story begins, much like the stories of so many other self-made men before him. Jackson was raised in a large family in a low-income neighborhood of Gary, Indiana, similar to how Benjamin Franklin was raised. Jackson, one of 10 children, had a difficult time finding a way to express himself on his own. On the other hand, Michael Jackson's brothers, under the leadership of their father Joe Jackson, established the Jackson 5, which began to display Michael's abilities as a singer at a very young age. At the same time that Franklin was an indentured slave, Jackson was also in some senses a slave. In the beginning of Franklin's voyage, he was an indentured slave to his brother. While working in his brother's printing machine, Franklin was subjected to harsh and tyrannical treatment. Franklin was forced to flee an abusive situation that was created by his brother, who would occasionally cause him physical harm. In a similar manner, Jackson, who was directed by his father, lived in constant terror of Joe Jackson's fury and exerted as much effort as he could to avoid being abused. Jackson was well aware that in order to achieve success, he needed to separate himself from his family and focus on utilizing his artistic abilities in order to achieve popularity. Henry Clay, the person who first used the term self-made man, described these individuals as enterprising men who give whatever wealth they possess by being patient and diligent through their own efforts. Jackson grasped this term in many ways because he was aware of the money and success he had achieved while being a member of the Jackson 5, yet he made the decision to risk everything in order to pursue his solo career. After that, Jackson released a number of records, including Off the Wall in 1979, which garnered a certain amount of attention. However, the moment when Jackson joined forces with Quincy Jones was the moment that marked the beginning of a new chapter in his journey. Jackson and Jones collaborated to create the album that became the best-selling album of all time, Thriller, which quickly elevated Michael Jackson from the rank of celebrity to that of icon. In a number of respects, Jackson's record was the most astute business decision he had ever made in his career. Every single track on that album was carefully crafted with the intention of creating a sound that practically everyone could sing along with and get down to. On the album Thriller, he even managed to convince Paul McCartney, one of the most famous white musicians of all time, to do a duet with him. It was demonstrated that a black voice could be iconic through the use of Jackson's album, which became a top hit after top hit after top hit was aired on the radio. With his daily, the Pennsylvania Gazette, Benjamin Franklin, in a manner that was analogous, recognized the concept of appealing to a large number of people. Runaway America is a book written by David Waldstreicher. In it, Waldstreicher argues how Benjamin Franklin was successful with his newspaper because it spread crucial information between participants in translocal markets. This made the newspaper interesting to a large number of people who moved over different boundaries. Jackson and Franklin were able to capitalize on this opportunity because they had a deep understanding of the role that the self-made man plays in society. Jackson's notoriety and presence soared beyond anything you could have expected, paving the path for other musicians like his Usher and Justin Timberlake to create music and social presences that were similarly inspired by his work. In a manner that is comparable, Benjamin Franklin did the same thing, as both of them came to prominence as a result of their perseverance and hard work. Both of them are deserving of the moniker of self-made men, but more than that, they are icons who have paved the way for others to follow in their footsteps. What is the total amount of money that Michael Jackson has made since his death in 2009? Not only are the statistics staggering, but they are also something to behold. In death, he has achieved the same level of achievement as he did in life. The fact that his talent has left an indelible mark on music listeners and that his influence on popular culture is still felt to this day is evidenced by the fact that this is now the case. Now that we have these figures, let's analyze them to figure out how much money the King of Pop has made since he passed away. The year 2023 marks the first year since 2020 that the estate of Michael Jackson has been included at number 1 on the Forbes list of the highest earning dead celebrities. This is also the 11th time that Michael Jackson has been at the top of the chart. The musical MJ, the musical, has made more than $85 million at the box office this year, and it has made more than $149 million since it was first released in 2022. This does not include earnings from the Michael Jackson 1 show, which is a Cirque du Soleil production that has been performing in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay since 2013, which is the 10-year anniversary of the show. Due to the fact that his estate has inked a deal for a Michael Jackson biopic that will be titled Michael, his revenues are expected to continue to increase in the year 2024. Elvis Presley, who had revenues of more over $100 million in 2023, is the second biggest earner of the year, followed by Roy Manzarek, the keyboardist for The Doors, whose estate earned $45 million. Dr. Seuss, whose estate earned $40 million, and Charles Schulz, whose estate made $30 million, round out the top five. Dr. Seuss occupies the fourth spot on the list. Since he died away in 2009, there have been 15 lists of the highest-earning deceased celebrities published by Forbes, and Michael Jackson has been at the top of 11 of those lists. Michael has topped the chart every year since the list was first compiled in 2001, with the exception of the years 2009, 2012, 2021, and now 2022. This makes him the most successful deceased star since the list was first presented. Since the year 2001, Elvis Presley, who is considered to be his most direct rival, has produced slightly more than $1.134 billion, but Michael Jackson has generated $2,763 billion since 2009. Just as he did while he was still alive, Michael Jackson has continued to set records in the 15 years that have passed after his death. He has not even allowed death to stop him from trying to accomplish his goals. Listed here are some of the records that were kept after the death. The largest recording deal in the history of music, which was worth $250 million in 2010. It was the largest payday ever for a celebrity, with $825 million in 2016 being the record. Michael Jackson, the Immortal World Tour, brought in $370 million in 2011, making it the 8th largest world tour in the history of the world. This Is It, $260 million, was the most successful music documentary in the history of the industry in 2009. In 2009, which was one of the most successful sales years in history, 31 million devices were supplied in a single year. In the same way that there has been no scandal, rumor, or legal dispute that has undermined the interest of the record-buying public in the King of Pop, there has been no such thing throughout his lifetime. It will be interesting to watch what Michael Jackson's legacy will be and what viewers will think of him as we reach the second decade after his death. While there is an increasing distance between the man and the myth, it will be intriguing to see what his legacy will be. For the time being, however, Michael Jackson reigns supreme in the underworld, just as he did in the live world between the years 1958 and 2009. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.